guilty about something. And so if you tell them that masturbation is bad for them, then you don't have anybody left who doesn't feel guilty, right? There you are. Something's wrong with all of you. I think that events have borne out his belief very, very strongly. I think we've seen that. This was before the SS and the concentration camps and the Gestapo, but certainly he predicted them and saw that rising in, I can't remember if 36 is before or after Kristallnacht. I think it is very true. I think sexual suppression is a tool of the authoritarian state, in the sense that they make us all feel bad. They make us feel bad about our desires. They tell us that everything, every fantasy we have, every desire we have, every explorative idea we have is a pathology of some sort or another, and means that we are discredited as humans. And so what they do is they take everybody who's got any energy and any explorativeness and any creativity and whatever and say, oh, you're no good, you're not okay, and squash all of us. I believe that Eros is the life force, the animating force of the cosmos, is what is the Tao, is divine. I believe it flows through all of us all of the time. We can't pay attention to it all the time, or we wouldn't figure out how to eat dinner, you know, but I mean, we wouldn't be in bodies anymore, let's put it that way. But to me, that free-flowing sexuality is essential to my spirituality, to my sense of awareness, to my sense of my own values, to my sense of moving in the world. And I can't even figure out how you'd make a religion out of that could be used to control populations. Because you control populations by making them feel bad. I just watched Jesus Camp. I don't know how many of you watched that. It's a movie about a bunch of young children who were sent off to camp to become evangelical preachers. And they're talking to all these young children about sin and the devil and making war for Christ. It's scary. It's terrifying. And they're using the same techniques we use in Tantra workshops. But they're focusing it into this sense of not okay, you're a sinner, you need to repent, you need to make the other sinners repent. It's terrifying shit when spirituality and religion and all that is sacred is harnessed by somebody who wants to control populations politically. It's dangerous. I think it's a serious problem. And I think it's why we have huge armies in Iraq and a few other continents like that. It's scary stuff. I do believe that if sexuality is not suppressed in a larger portion of the population, that we will get more people who are more interested in the ethics of government and the ethics of society and how we keep our commitments to act with the consent and collaboration for the pleasure and well-being of all the people around us. I would like to see a consensual world.
So my final question is not going to be the Lipton question from Actor Studio. My final question is, let's project 10 years from now. It's 2019. You're coming out with the 3rd edition. What's the chapter you're hoping to write for that edition? And I know that that's probably take a minute to figure out, but like, what would be that thing that you would want to add?
I wrote a whole other book on the subject called Radical Ecstasy, SM Journeys to Transcendence, but I think it would be fun to write a chapter, 2 chapters really. One I wanted to do that I may actually make a book of, and I have the time, but it's sort of a journalistic project. It would take time that I don't have, which is to look at the various ways, the various kinds of utopian societies that sluts have put together, and write a book about that, more of an anthology of interviews. But I would also, I guess what I just said, I would like to have the space to include in that book my beliefs about spirituality and about the political importance of sexual freedom, which is mentioned there certainly, but I'd like to get into it a little bit deeper. The other thing I was interested in, that I will be interested in seeing, what you were speaking of about doing your life in public on the net, right, is very new to me, okay? You're all living in a world that is so unbelievably more public than anything I have experienced, and I think it will be very interesting to see what sexuality looks like in 10 years. I always say that it is shocking and horrifying, as an old play party person, that to me that 99% of the population of this country has never seen anyone else have sex that they weren't involved in. I mean, how do they live? I mean, when you think about how ignorant that is, if you ever, when you were first having your experiences, if you worried about how you looked, well, if you could look at other people, you wouldn't be worrying anymore, you know? It's a huge political act to deprivatize sex. It takes so much of the shame out of it and allows things to get real and get wonderful and get funky and get glorious and get exciting. And so I would like to see what this deprivatization on the net does. And what happens, where we go. Hopefully everybody won't Photoshop themselves into oblivion, and, and we'll get some realism. What? Excuse
Not me. Never Photoshop. Does shirt look wrinkly?
But that we have more people then who are able to handle looking at sex, and not just porn sex, but real sex that people have. And not just, you know, fashion model looking people, but real looking people, and that there be a whole world of people who aren't scared to look at sex anymore would be really nice.
Dossie, I want to thank you for making time tonight to be here.
And thank you. This has been a lovely gathering. Thank you all for coming.
I'd like to thank you all for showing up on a Saturday night and for being a part of this. How can people find you? I mean, obviously they can Google you, but give us some...
There are little cards up there, little palm cards you can take with you. And they have mine and my co-authors' websites. And on mine and my co-authors' websites, you will also find my email and my phone number. So you can find me, no problem. Pick up a little ethical slut palm card, pick up a bunch of them, hand them out to all your friends. And you will have websites, email addresses, everything you need. Or the websites leading to email addresses.
And for those of you who might be listening to the recording, you can go to my website, which is readaboutsex.com, and there'll be a link to all of your stuff as well.
And mine is really easy. My website is dossieeaston.com.
Dossie, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Go out and be sluts or something. But be ethical about it.